I now call the Iberia Parish Council meeting to order for April 26, 2023. The current time now is 6:01. We'll have the prayer led by Councilman Paul Landry and the pledge by Councilman Pollard. Councilman Landry, lead the way.
Father, first let me say thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here today. Thank you for the many and abundant blessings. Thank you for life itself, for the measure of health we need to fulfill our calling, for substance and for friendship. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. Thanks for the freedom to embrace you or the freedom to reject you. Thank you for the loving us even so, for your boundless and gracious natures. In the script, as you said, that citizens ought to obey the governing authorities, since you have established those very authorities to promote peace and order and justice. Therefore, I pray for our parish president, for various levels of city officials, and in particular for this assembled council. I'm asking that you would graciously grant them wisdom to govern the conflicting interests and issues of our time, a sense of welfare and true needs of our people. I pray for the agenda set before them today. Please give assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work and around our beloved parish. It is your most blessed name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Councilman Pollard.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. Well done, Mr. Landry. Madam Clerk, please initiate the roll call.
Tommy Pollard.
Here.
Michael Landry.
Here.
Marcus Broussard.
Here.
Lloyd Brown. Warren Gotchison.
Here.
Natalie Broussard. Paul Landry. James Trahan. Scott Rossene. Eugene Livier. Brian Napier. Lady Fontenay Brown. Scott Saunier. Chad Monterey.
13 members in the quorum. I need a motion to go into public comments. I have a motion by Councilman Pollard, second by Councilman Brown. Roll call, members. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed. Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Number one, Madam Clerk.
Comments from the general public on agenda items.
We did not receive any. I need a motion to go back into regular session. I have a motion by Councilman Pollard, second by Councilman Brown. Roll call, members. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed. Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to community events and public service announcements. Number one, Madam Clerk.
Representatives from Iberia Mental Health Initiative to address the council to announce May 2023 as Mental Health Awareness Month and the Bayou Side Mental Health Walk to be held on May 6, 2023.
If you can state your name and title for the record, sir.
Oh, I have a title. Mike Watney, 7515 Lilla Road. I'm here representing the Iberia Mental Health Initiative, and I think most of you are familiar with it by now, but the initiative is a group that came about focused on teaching about mental illness, beginning the discussion and solutions in regards to those who suffer or need assistance with mental health within our community, and reducing the stigma via understanding exactly what mental health is and how it affects our community, our loved ones, and everybody in general. We're here to promote the Bayou Side 5K run that we have coming up on May 6th. I know a lot of you have helped support it in the past. Of course, Nally, James, Warren, Eugene have all been there in the past and participated. Rumor is Warren's running this year, so I invite everybody to come out and see that. At least that was the rumor. Last year's run set a record for us. We had 400 participants, over 400 participants. The year before was 300. As of last night, we were at 309. So we're looking for another good turnout. And the whole focus of it is to show community support for those who have dealt with mental health, or educate those who haven't, because it is something that affects everybody, good, bad, or indifferent. And this opportunity for the community to come together in large numbers like this and show the support for those battling it, it really goes a long way to help us break down that stigma associated with mental illness and mental health. We have some vendors that will be out there, different support groups, different community resources that people can take advantage of, learn more about. We always have music. We always have food. We have a 5K. The 5K is going to start first this year at 7 o'clock. And then immediately following the 5K, we have a 1K fun run. So if you want to run, you want to walk, or if you just want to be out there enjoying the morning with us, we invite everybody to come out and join us.
And you do accept registration that day also, correct?
We do, and it's the UR code is on the handout that you have. If you want to share that with your friends, your loved ones, anybody, they can register through that link. Sponsorships are still available. You may not make the T-shirts, but for $250, a business or individuals can sponsor the event. It's pretty moving to see some of the groups that come out and participate in this event, some of which have family members that have lost somebody, and they're running in their honor. So it's pretty powerful. It sends a great message to the rest of our community, and like I said, it really helps us kind of open up the dialogue as far as mental health and break down that stigma so that more people are talking about it and comfortable with it.
Members, are there any questions for Mr. Watney at this time? Hearing none. Michael, thank you for all y'all do for our community. We appreciate
No
it.
problem. Thank y'all for your support.
Moving on to reports from finance and administrative actions. Number 1, Madam Clerk.
Ballot sheets for January, February, and March 2023. Copy available on a court request. Ballot sheets were emailed to all council members.
Number 2.
Budget reports for January, February, and March 2023. Copy available on request. Budget reports were emailed to all council members.
Reports from parish or other governmental agencies. There is none. Public Works reports. Number 1.
Public Works Department report for closed work orders dated March 29th through April 11th, 2023.
Members, you should have received that by email. Moving on to special business. There is none. Council member announcements. Members, Councilman Landry.
This Saturday at Acadiana Fairgrounds, they're sponsoring the Mexican Rodeo. They'll have 3 bands. The price is $60, and the time is from 6 to 11. Good.
Good. Councilman Landry yields back. Councilman Trahone.
Chairman, without objection, I'd like to yield some time to Mr. Craig Romero.
Hearing no objection. Mr. Romero, if you can state your name and title for the record.
Craig Romero, Executive Director of the Port of Iberia, but they call me a lot of other things too, but I won't get into that. Thank y'all for having me tonight on such short notice. I've been before y'all probably 3 times in the last 5 or 6 years for companies that come in that do business in other countries to get letters of support from you guys and resolutions for to create foreign trade zone subzones. And in every situation that we had to do that, we had to go to the Port of South Louisiana because they are, quote unquote, a foreign trade zone designee. There are 7 of these in the state of Louisiana: Shreveport, Alexandria, Port of New Orleans, Port of South Louisiana, Port of Terrebonne Airport, Port of Lake Charles. And last year, the first step, you have to amend that legislation that spells out how many designees you have in the state. And Senator Mills amended the legislation last year just to insert the Port of Iberia if in case we would go ahead and apply to become a designee, quote unquote. And what this does, by us becoming a designee like those other locations, instead of going to the Port of South Louisiana and accomplishing what we did, it normally takes 5 to 8 months to do that with the customs agency in Washington, D.C. But by us becoming a designee, it'll take less than 30 days to get a designation for a company that wants that designation in Iberia Parish. I just spoke to Mandy Mitchell with Lafayette Economic Development Authority. She is totally behind it. The One Acadiana is they're going to send a letter of support, and I need a letter from the Iberia Parish Council just in support as part of the application process. And I think it'll be a benefit. But like I said, we never needed foreign trade zones before, but the world is changing. We've gotten 3 in the last 5 years. Franks came to you, and you did it for Franks as well. And I want to mention to you the yard at Franks, a company a lot of you know that they were sold to Expro. Well, last week we finished about a year-long negotiation with Franks. The Port Commission has bought the Franks yard at the Port of Iberia. It's 117 acres, and it is a foreign trade zone. And Expro wanted to vacate that property, the company that bought Franks. And now we have a company from Cape Town, South Africa, called Global Risers that is going to they're going to start delivering stuff in May, next month, onto the property. Expro is moving a lot of their pipe from the south side of their yard, about 50 acres, and Expro is going to start unloading their risers. And their main location is in Cape Town, South Africa. They have a yard in India, and the Port of Iberia is going to be their Western Hemisphere location. They, just to give you an idea, remember that name, Global Risers, and when you're playing with your computer, Google them. They have a video. You need to watch that. They have ships. When they take your risers from a location in one country and they go on transatlantic or trans-Pacific to another rig location, the ships have the machine shop capabilities on board to take all the riser, strip them, recondition, test them, and certify them for when they get to the final destination, wherever your rig's delivered. That's the capabilities. It's pretty interesting. And they come into the Port of Iberia. I wanted to mention that to y'all. So I just need that letter of support. I want to come in. That little handout I gave you just gives you a synopsis of the benefits for companies that do work internationally. And I just asked for the letter. I spoke to Warren earlier, and I'll send him a sample letter. It's
Okay.
pretty generic. But,
Members, if it's okay with you, either I or the clerk will sign on behalf of the council, if that's okay with everybody. Just an endorsement for the FTZ. Is there any questions for Director Romero? Hearing none, if you want to close, Craig, you have the floor.
closing is thank you. Thank y'all
Thank you
very much.
Thanks for being here. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was very impressed with the Caterpillar function the other day. It was a greatly attended, and I learned a lot about Caterpillar that I didn't know. Yeah,
Well, if some of you didn't go, I know that a couple of years ago, we took a tour and Natalie came, and I mean, it's amazing. And you were telling me, somebody was saying, it's so clean, it was so clean. I said, it's like that all
Still
the
was.
time. Any of y'all ever want to take that tour? And you have an hour, you want to eat lunch, I'll buy you lunch, but I'd bring you there at 10, 11 o'clock, and then we'll eat lunch somewhere. But you need to see it. Every one of you need to see it, because you won't stop talking about it. It's impressive. Nobody even knows it's there. It's a dime. If I have a new prospect for the Port of Iberia, the first place I take them is Louisiana Cat.
Yeah.
That's no
And,
exaggeration.
What I was so impressed about, I didn't realize they had a training center there. They got people from around the world that comes there for training.
Yeah, it's pretty
You
cool.
know, it's very, very impressive.
Some days you'll see some groups from foreign countries, and they'll have an interpreter in the group doing the narrative in a foreign language, which, other than French, they over my head.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you, Gene. Thank you for coming.
Councilwoman Broussard may have something for you, Mr. Romero. Oh, okay. Hearing none, thanks, Greg, appreciate it. Councilman Trahan, you still had the floor, did you yield back?
I have you back.
Councilman Trahan yields back, Councilwoman Broussard is recognized. Anyone from that
Yeah, I
side?
just wanted to announce an event that is going on this Thursday, April 27th in West End at the Martin Luther King Center. It's sponsored by the Hopkins Street Economic Development District. It's a small business resource event, so anybody's interested in that, it'll be from 6 to 8 this Thursday. And also, just to kind of save the date, for June 8th, CERT is going to be hosting a program at the Slyman from 6 to 8 on individual disaster prep. It's not a CERT training for volunteers. It's more directed towards getting the individuals prepped. And we're asking all of the council members to help us to get the word out to your constituents in your district to come and participate in this. We are being supported by Billy Nungesser's office and Volunteer Louisiana. They will be giving away some startup kits to start your home disaster prepared kit, and given a lot of information. So save the date for June 8th and start spreading that word as much as you can.
Councilwoman Broussard yields back, Councilman Rossini is recognized.
Just a reminder from the last meeting, tomorrow is the day, the Acadian Odyssey Monument dedication ceremony from 10, roughly 2 o'clock. From 10 to roughly 2, there we go. at 121 Bridge Street. That's Lorville. That's after the second red light. You take a left. It's only one. I'm joking. Special guest speakers, Billy Nungesser is still tentatively supposed to speak. There's several from Canada. There's also a band that's coming from Canada to play after the dedication ceremony. We do have tents. We know it's supposed to rain. If it does rain,
No
it's
sitting.
possible.
No rain.
Yeah, it doesn't rain in Louisville, huh? Yeah. We'll move it to the church hall, which is within walking distance. Even Warren could make it. So hope to see you there.
Councilman-
It's a big thing for Louisville and the parish.
Councilman Rawson yields back. Anyone else, members? Councilman Pollard's recognized.
Yes, I want to thank Marlon Lewis for calling me because he didn't know who to contact about alligators in a retention pond. It's that time of the year now, and they shows up pretty much every year this time. And Mr. Russell, he caught one Monday, 6/11. Caught one yesterday, 7-footer, and he caught another one today. And he said he's still one more that he's seen in
You'll
there.
need us to get some of those tags for you, Mr. Pollard.
Well. Yep. So I mean, for the people that be walking in the park that sees these things and call it, we just try
Yeah, you're right.
do our best because they come in and out this time of the year.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Pollard. Anyone else, members? Councilman Brown?
Also, they're working for the wildlife and fishery, right?
Yes, he is
So,
the trapper for the wildlife and fisheries, and before he can even get in a retention pond, I have to call wildlife and fishery and get a claim number from them before he even go anywhere. And
It's
sit in their
amazing how they
lines.
make it into the retention pond.
they
Yes.
come through that.
It's amazing. And it's not never just one. It's always multiple ones.
Male and female.
Councilman Brown yields back. Anyone else, members?
I'm not gonna
Councilman
ask
Saunier?
you, no.
who's Vice President with Acadian Companies, which is Acadian Ambulance, asked me to pass this on. Since we're moving into the end of the school year, a bunch of kids will be graduating, some of them not sure what they're gonna do. We are looking for good people. There are trainings that start every month, but June 6th, there's an EMT class that's gonna begin. So if any one of your constituents have kids that are kind of looking for a career path, we'll get them to come and present, but they can go to becomeamedic.com, and a recruiter will contact them and kind of walk them through the process. It actually helps them to enter into South Louisiana Community College also. So there's, the educational opportunity is there, specifically for those kids who are looking for something to do.
Councilman Saunier
Come on,
yields back.
chuckle with
Hearing no other requests, I just want to extend a congratulations to our very own Councilman Tronholm, who actually won the Jambalaya Cook-Off Challenge for the festival this past weekend. We give him a round of applause, man. We got celebrities up here, y'all. Just in case you did miss that jambalaya, he will be cooking again this weekend for my daughter's lemonade stand on April 29th, this Saturday from 10 to 1, and it will not be rain. So come out and join us. You have another opportunity to get some of that good jambalaya. Hearing no other council member announcements, moving on to parish president.
Good evening. I'd like to give first a brief update from President Richard. President Richard would like to thank everyone again for their prayers, well wishes, and support. He's feeling better every day and gives all his thanks to God. He's still not able to receive visitors under doctor's orders, but he can't wait until he can get back here and see everyone again. Rest of the announcements on behalf of President Richard, we had our litter abatement where we picked up 112 bags of trash on April 15th on El Dubois Road, North Dubois Road, and Adras Road. This past Saturday, April 22nd, we had Household Waste Day. This is now being held twice a year. We had good attendance. We picked up about 800 batteries, which included AA, AAA, Cs, and Ds, car batteries, etc. 65 tires, 490 gallons of paint, computers, fax machines, printer ink, just about everything was dropped off. President Richard would like to thank the Iberia Parish Sheriff's Office, Iberia Medical Center, the council members who attended, and big thanks to Public Works and the employees who helped us to pull all of this off. The previous Saturday, April 15th, Iberia Parish Rabies Control held a vaccination clinic. We were able to vaccinate over 200 dogs and cats free of charge to the pet owners, thanks to the Bissell Foundation. We'd like to give a big thanks to Kathy Bissell and her foundation. We also had several animals that were microchipped, and that was also free of charge. It was a good day. And then an update on La Vie Road. Construction was set to begin this past Monday. I did not drive out there yet, but I'm hoping that this is correct. I will check that out soon. And we've got a scheduled completion date of June 24th on that. La Vie Road Bridge, bidding will, it said, kind of messed up last time. I said bidding would begin in August. Bidding is going to begin in June. Construction to begin in August with an anticipated completion date in December. And then lastly, as most of you know, we had some severe weather that came through on the morning of April the 16th, Sunday, April 16th. It peeled off the retrofitted roof on the Ward 8 Recreation Center. As a result, we had some insulation, water damage to the ceiling tiles inside the building. President Richard wants to thank Councilman Brian Napier of District 11 and Parks and Recreation Director Tammy Trahan for their quick action to secure the building, preventing further damage. A temporary roof has been put in place. We've got a guarantee of 6 to 8 months on it, which is going to give us time to bid out the project and do our repair work, permanent repair work to the roof and to the interior of the building. And that's all I've got.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to consent agenda items for public hearing and adoption. We have the minutes of regular meeting of April 12, 2023. Summary number 86, introduced by the clerk of the council. Madam Clerk.
A resolution proclaiming the week of May 7th through 20. Resolution proclaiming the week of May 7th through 13th, 2023 as National Tourism Week in Iberia Parish.
Summary number 87, introduced by the parish president.
A resolution amending 2023 general fund budget in an amount of $60,000 to accept the GAP state funding and appropriate equipment expenditures accordingly.
Summary number 88, introduced by James P. Trahan of District 8.
A resolution of condolences to the family of Mr. Lloyd Nicholson, former Iberia Parish Police Jury of District 8, who passed away on April 11, 2023.
Summary number 89, introduced by James P. Trahan of District 8.
A resolution of condolences to the family of Mrs. Jill LeBlanc Longlonnet, wife of Mr. Kent Longlonnet, and daughter-in-law of former parish president Will Longlonnet, who passed away on March 30th, 2023.
Do I have a motion to open consent agenda items? Have a motion by Councilman Michael Landry, second by Councilman Trahan. Councilman Landry? Councilman Trahan. Members, at this time, is there any motion to remove an item from consent agenda? Hearing none, there'll be a roll call vote. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to ordinances introduced for public hearing and adoption. Summary number 5142, introduced by Regional Planning Commission. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance approving the reclassification request for the property located at Seaway Access Road, with said parcel being rezoned from A1 agricultural to I2 heavy industrial, located in District 3, contingent upon review and recommendation by Iberia Parish Regional Planning Commission at their April 18, 2023 meeting.
Do I have a motion? Have a motion by Councilman Landry. Second by Councilman Olivier. Councilman Landry. Councilman Olivier. Any main motion discussion, members? Councilwoman Broussard's recognized.
Did we get a response from the planning commission from their April 18th meeting?
Yes, it was passed.
I don't see Jacob in attendance. If Brock, if you want to just step to the podium shortly, just in case there is questions. If you could state your name and
Brock
title,
Pellerin,
please.
Chairman, Iberia Parish Planning Commission.
Members, are there any questions for Mr. Pellerin while he's at the podium? If you could just state to the end of the meeting, if we have another one coming up.
We passed this unanimous.
Okay.
This is kind of a time constraint item. We have someone looking at some property at the airport.
And it was recommended by the director?
It was,
Okay.
yep.
Members hearing no questions, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to resolutions introduced for public hearing and adoption. Madam Clerk?
Condemnation hearing related to the building and or structures owned by Ricky O'Brien Miller located at 109 Estate Drive, New Iberia, Louisiana, 70560, identified as having Iberia Parish Assessment Number 04033340000, as recommended by the Director of Permitting, Planning, and Zoning.
Hold on, Mr. Landry. Is there anyone here from the Miller family? Hearing none. Moving on to summary number 55, introduced by the legal counsel. Madam Clerk?
A resolution condemning the building and or structures owned by Ricky O'Brien Miller located at 109 Estate Drive, New Iberia, Louisiana, 70560, identified as having Iberia Parish Assessment Number 040333400, ordering that said building and or structures be demolished or removed, providing for the effective date thereof, and otherwise providing with respect thereto. Note, this item was tabled from the March 15, 2023 Iberia Parish Council meeting.
I have a motion to remove from the table by Councilman Michael Landry. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Broussard. Roll call, members. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries. Summary number 55 is now removed from the table. Do I have a motion to open summary 55? Have a motion by Councilman Landry. Second by Councilman Olivier. Discussion, Councilman Landry.
Did we do everything to speak to this, to the person?
Mr. Landry, I can't answer that at this point, and I know I don't believe I see Jacob in the audience, and I did talk to legal before the meeting.
Yeah.
And at this point, Andy hadn't been here every meeting, so he's not able to answer that, where we are with that process.
And furthermore, if I were going to condemn that, I would want to have a hearing where Jacob came forward and produced photographs or evidence of the condition of the property, although I think we all know what the condition of the property is. But I think there needs to be something in the record.
We did that portion of it, he actually did, but
Okay.
as far as the delivery of the notice, I think there was some question about, did we obtain that receipt back from the property owner?
The biggest thing was we was trying to get the sheriff to bring the notice to them, because they didn't sign anything.
Well, you can give notice by registered or certified mail.
It's up to you.
Correct. From, that's what I understood also.
I wonder if anybody has traced it to see if it was unclaimed.
But, I mean, that's, I think where we are, and there's nobody here to answer them.
Councilman Landry, you still had the floor. Were you?
Yeah, and I agree with Natalie, but I think we try to put some teeth into this ordinance, and I think people are trying to circumvent it. I know one of the things was the sheriff, Ian was gonna talk to the sheriff to try to give him a serve notice. So I don't know if none of this been done, and if we need to table it, but we need to really look at it.
Councilman Landry, you finished?
Yeah.
Councilman Landry, yields back. Councilman Olivier is recognized.
I'm in total agreement with the table until Jake can come back and answer a few questions about this.
Okay, before we do that, we just keep going, but if you will table, please don't set a date. Just allow Jacob and Planning and Zoning and Legal to get together before it comes back. I believe Councilman Landry had something?
If I remember right, I believe she had told Jacob she was gonna pull a permit
To demolish it herself?
herself, so I think that's part of the reason we kind of pushed it back.
Okay,
So I don't know if that's entered into it.
okay. You finished, Councilman? Councilman Landry yields back. Anyone else on main motion discussion before we take? Hearing none, did you want to make that table?
Yeah, I'll table it without a date.
I got a motion on the floor by Councilman Landry to table without a date, second by Councilman Brown. Is there any discussion on the motion to table? Hearing none, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hear no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously.
Judge, then I'll check.
Certainly.
To see what else else needs to be done.
Thank you, Mr. Sheila. Moving on to summary number 90, introduced by the clerk of the council. Madam Clerk?
A resolution accepting a proposal of the amount of $3,900 from Geographical Planning and Demographic Services for the merger of precincts in conjunction with the 2020 census and take appropriate action as necessary.
Do I have a motion? I have a motion by, is that Councilman Landry? Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Michael Landry. Councilman Paul Landry on discussion. Councilman Michael Landry on discussion. Any main motion discussion, members? Hearing none, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 91, introduced by Natalie Broussard of District 6. Madam Clerk?
A resolution authorizing the payment of an invoice in the amount of $1,680 from Bayroyd Habits and Associates for corrective action taken by the Iberia Parish government relating to the pond on Fairgrounds property, all to be paid from the professional services line item of the 2023 Acadiana Fairgrounds Commission Fund budget.
Do I have a motion? I have a motion by Councilman Landry, Paul Landry, second by Councilwoman Broussard. Councilman Landry. Councilwoman Broussard. Any main motion discussion, members? Hearing none, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 92, introduced by the parish president. Madam Clerk?
A resolution amending the 2023 Airport Authority Fund budget in the amount of $4,125,000 to appropriate funding for engineered services for our improvements of exploration project, all to be expansion project, all to be funded from FPNC revenues, $3,775,000, and the balance of $1,050,000 match being funded from fund balance previous year's line item.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Broussard, second by Councilman Saunier. Councilwoman Broussard. Councilman Saunier. Any main motion discussion, members? Hearing none, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 93, introduced by Fire District Number 1.
A resolution amending the 2023 Fire District Number 1 fund budget in the amount of $15,011 to provide additional funding for building repairs at the training station and commercial liability insurance premiums, all to be funded from fund balance previous years.
Do I have a motion? I have a motion by Councilman Olivier, second by Councilwoman Broussard. Councilwoman Broussard. Any main motion discussion, members? Hearing none, roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to ordinances introduced for publication, not for voting, for just publication, members. I'll get them to read them. If you want to dispense, I'll take a motion of dispense the reading. I have a motion by Councilwoman Broussard, second by Councilman Saunier. Any objection? Hearing none, moving from the dispense of the reading of the official journal to adjudicated properties can be found on iberiaparishgovernment.com, and to remind the public, our next meeting will be on May 10th. Do you have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Councilwoman Broussard, second by Councilman Trahan. Roll call, members. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hear no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. We now adjourn.